Yeah.
TK, what's going on, man? I had a
I don't
great
know.
week this week. Whoa.
Tell me. I want to know about you.
6 of 6, baby. Six of
Six of
six.
six.
Six of
I never doubted you for a
six.
second.
I didn't doubt it much, but it's like now it's time to talk terms because the original terms already don't work. But you know what? It's great. You know what? Sometimes, I don't know, maybe, I'm sure you get the feeling. I'm sure everybody out there knows what I'm talking about when I say, like, sometimes you just get a feeling that things are coming together, right? That you can make things work, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen all the time. This is not, I mean, with residential houses in the last while, I mean, God, it's a shoe-in, right? But like in these land development deals, they blow apart pretty quickly, right?
Most of them blow apart.
Yeah, I mean, and
The
even
majority
in,
of them, Daryl,
yeah,
the majority of contracts in the land development world are not firmed up and closed upon.
no, no,
Yes. Yeah.
most of them go absolutely nowhere. I mean,
Yes.
listen, if it's one property, the chances of success are far greater than when you have to put, two together or three or six or eight, right? Your
Nobody does it better than you.
chances get smaller and smaller the more owners and egos and demands get thrown into the stew, right?
Mm-hmm.
But TK,
You're persistent.
listen, I am the assembly master. There's no doubt
If there's
about it.
anything that I can say, if there's like any
If I could,
quality that's contributing to your, character that helps you with your job,
oh
it's
no,
persistence.
persistence for sure.
It's persistence. You're all over it. You make sure that even all the YouTubers are all like, man, this Darryl guy, he's got me coming on the show next 3 months from now, and he's already sent me 8 emails on what I'm supposed to do, And that's what gets things done, man. That's it. You make sure you don't drop the ball.
Well, listen, if I sense if I have my teeth in something and I sense that there's a chance, I definitely will proceed accordingly. But quickly. It's speed that makes a difference, right? And this one, there's no broker in the middle. It's like me and all the owners direct one-on-one, and like, let's just go, right?
Nobody
But
trusts the broker in the middle.
it's not even the trust thing. It's just things get
True.
broken down in the middle or changed for whatever reason, like between parties. I mean, listen, the broker's just trying to get the deal done. He's doing what he thinks he needs to do to get the deal done. Just oftentimes it doesn't jive with what the buyer or the seller have in mind, right? But if you can get direct with everybody, you can solve most issues if everybody is willing to sell. But like when you're fighting upstream with people that just are crazy and unwilling to sell, like there's a point in time where it's just like you're not fitting this in here. It's not
People
working.
want to hear it directly from the horse's mouth, Daryl. And in this situation, you're the horse.
I am the horse.
You're the
Generally,
horse.
generally, I am
And
the
so
horse.
they hear it from someone else. They go, yeah, the agent's saying that, he's doing this. But when you're there and you're saying like, here I am, this is what my plan is.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm going to proceed. There is no like ambiguity, which is what puts deals together.
Do you know how many meetings I've gone into with the seller and they've been like, the agent told me this, blah, 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 and you were doing this and this and this. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that didn't happen. Right. And it's like, the sooner you can just, the agent needs to be this intermediary that makes the introduction so that the people can actually get the deal done. Right.
It's a fine balance. So I was just thinking that in my head, there's lots of deals where it is super beneficial to connect the buyer and the seller. So many deals where,
especially these kind of deals, right?
Those type of deals, especially, right? But even once in
Houses,
a while, the residential
maybe
stuff
not.
too.
Well,
Sometimes the residential stuff
sometimes
can benefit both parties in certain scenarios if there's
depending,
a
yeah.
complicated type of arrangement. But there's plenty of deals where that buyer and seller should never meet.
Never
And
me.
they should not even, like, if they walk by each other in the grocery store, they should not even know who the other person is. Like, that's how far apart an arm's length of a transaction it needs to be.
No, but and then even still, like once you get past the layer of intermediary, realtor, broker, like some guy who found the deal and put it together, like once you get past that layer, right, and direct to the seller, then the next layer that you have to overcome is the lawyers once they get a hold of things, right?
Brutal.
And
Those
so again,
lawyers.
well, but the lawyers can do what they do if the two decision makers are still in communication when things break down between the lawyers, right? So it's like, okay, the lawyer calls and goes, okay, the deal's going to die because of whatever, X, Y, Z, right? You can say, okay, fine, like let it die. Or you can say, hold on a sec, like let me call Hugo, right? And let's see what's going on. And when you get on the phone with Hugo, there's always a way to deal with the situation, right? Hugo, like what are we even arguing about? Like, do you even care about this? I don't even know what we're talking about, says Hugo, right? And
There's
it's
an
like,
issue.
but there isn't an issue. There's a lawyer who has an issue with something the
That's
client
the
doesn't even give a
issue.
fuck about, right?
Yes, the lawyers, bless their hearts.
Bless their
They're
hearts.
not getting paid enough to work on your deals, Mr. Buyer and Seller. You're not paying them enough money to care.
No, no,
You're not.
not unless
Okay?
it takes a while.
You don't. You think you are. You think that lawyers are overpaid. Maybe if you're going into some sort of litigation, I don't understand. Criminal court, whatever. I'm sure there's lots of cases for that. But in a real estate transaction, lawyers are grossly underpaid.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you saw my lawyer's bills, you would think otherwise. But the point is that they make issues where there aren't necessarily issues. And if you don't have that line of communication with the seller or the buyer, whichever one you are, then you don't know what really is the issue, right? You don't know if it's even really an issue because most of these guys are entrepreneurial. So you read it and you go, do they really care like about 48 hours notice for like an inspection versus 72 hours? Like, why are we arguing about this and spending $1,200 an hour on legal fees discussing this when neither of us even give a shit about this, right? Like, but these are things like I had lawyers tied up with each other over a sign on a site where the lender wanted to put up a sign and my lawyer was like, we don't want you to put up a sign. And I was like, I don't care if they put up a sign. And the lender was like, I don't even care if I put up a sign. Right. And it's like, both of us must have spent $2,000 on this.
Yeah.
Right. And when I say both of us, I paid both because that's how it fucking works with these lenders. Right. I pay all their legal fees.
Yeah.
So it's like, but these are the layers you have to get through to just get a deal done. Right. So the only reason that I was able to get any of my deals done, to be quite honest with you, is because I listened to what the friggin' sellers want. And if I don't think I can give it to them, I disappear instantly. Right. But as like things go on, I stay in touch with the seller. Right. Because no matter what, the agent in their not meaning like not maliciously, but things just change along the telephone line somehow, right? Right. In order to get the deal done, not to screw things up, but they think
They're not
sometimes
trying to
that they
ruin it,
need
but the
to,
agents.
sometimes they think they need to put a different perspective on it because like they know their buyer's crazy and he's going to go crazy when he hears this or like whatever, right? That's me, the example, right? Like I'm sure guys don't tell me things the way they are because they know, oh,
Listen,
Frankfurt's
we
going to
all
go
played broken
bananas.
telephone as a kid, and every one of those kids tried to pass along the same answer. Unless there was that one kid, Jimmy. He was just trying to mess us up, where he would say, purple
Yeah,
polka dot
boobs,
elephant,
boobs.
But that's the thing is broken telephone. It happens in real life business transactions too. So there are situations. I put together that 11 unit building.
What does that mean? You put it together.
So it's firmed up now.
Firmed up.
Yeah, it's firmed up. I don't know how much details I'm going to share, but basically, vendor take back is the term, right?
Right.
Interest only payments. right? This is how the deal gets done. The
That's
vacant, the
only
properties
way.
are almost all going to be vacant, right? So the sellers are going to ensure of that. The
Ensure
lenders,
that? Is that a
yeah,
good thing?
they're going to make sure that the building's almost all vacant. Yeah, there's a couple left, I think, that need to come here or there, but they're gonna work on it.
In this
but
environment, if I was buying commercial, I'd kind of want it partially tenanted at least right now. I wouldn't want to have to fill up the whole thing right now.
the issue would be in this environment. Why do you say that?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
your tenants are paying like 70% below market value. You would be okay with that?
some of them. Like I would want it partially tenanted right
In
now,
this case,
just so that I didn't have to
case,
find all that rent right
in this,
now.
okay, there's also a deferral on payments for the mortgage.
Whoa.
Yeah. Lots of good
Listen,
stuff
this
in
is
deal.
all the whole deal. My whole deal is all about terms right now. It's like basically it's like either we're not closing for a couple of years or you're giving me a VTB for a couple of years because or you got to change your price because it doesn't work at this price right now, right?
Yeah.
I keep saying it. It's very hard to pay twice as much as the actual value of something and get it financed right now. I don't know who in their right mind would finance it. Yeah, and I wouldn't even want to try, right, to do it like that.
Yeah.
But give me enough runway, right, to increase the value of the thing and get some concrete idea of what's possible there. Now you can finance something, right? And that's why terms is going to be the only way that prices stay at any kind of level close to what they were at, right? I think. But you know what's crazy? Can let me fly off of this for a second. I keep seeing, I'm very confused with the residential market because we see power of sales going up like crazy, like significantly. We see from people zero. Well, from zero, sure.
We're coming from like a non, like years of no power of sales. Like that's
for sure.
Like,
of course. How can you have a power of sale when the money's free?
If we have one power of sale, you know,
but it's significant because it's growing steadily, right? Already, and we haven't seen any kind of job loss or anything. Yeah. But we also see, and we've seen, at least if you're on Twitter every day, at least you see this guy post stuff of like 300 under what they paid for it, 1 million under what they paid for it, depending on the price point, like 200,000
paid for it or they didn't close.
Well, some of them are they didn't close and some of them are paid for it and they had to sell again, right? So you just see those kind of things. And then you also see, like you were saying, multiple offers, bidding wars on stuff, right?
Pumper.
Well, no, but I mean, it's coming from multiple places. It's coming from multiple pumpers, right?
Multiple pumpers.
But so what my answer is, and what I think should happen, and I think we should try and spearhead this, TK, is there needs to be, because you know what? Listen, if you price something that's worth 600 at 350, like you're going to get eyeballs, right? And you got desperate people who think that they could get it for 340 right now because the market's shit and they're asking 350.
You're going to get 10 offers and 9 of them are going to be at 350. And there's going to be that one guy
for 650
whose agent never made a sale all year. And he's going to go, look, man, like I know that at least half of these offers are over 6. We got to go to 650. We got to. At least half of them. There's 10 offers. There's got to be.
It's your only chance.
If you don't have a listing, you wouldn't know, right? But anytime you're getting like my multiple offer scenarios, right? Like you're getting the real data here to get over asking and everything else. You got to be significantly priced lower than you should be.
But we need a benchmark, TK. So what I thought of is like we need so what was the sale price to peak price ratio on that sale? Right? Because like, where am I at on this? Because what the fuck do I care if it was 350% over asking if it's still 18% below peak pricing?
And the lower, that's a great metric. That's never going to happen, but let's talk about it.
Never, but we could do it.
The lower the number, the better, right? So it's like, oh, he got like a 20% sale price to peak price
rate,
reduction, right? Like he's just like, yo, he was down 20. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Oh, he got 5% below peak. 5% below peak. Wow, his agent really knew what he was doing.
No, I think it's reverse. But anyways, it's like,
5% below peak. That's a lower number is better.
No, you want to be 20% below peak, don't you? You want to be
No,
way lower. If you're buying, I guess
you're
you're
buying.
talking
We're
as
talking
a
about sellers.
seller's
Sorry,
agent.
sorry, sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
on the
Yeah.
buying
List to
side.
last. We don't even
Buying.
think about buyers. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
List to
Sorry.
last. List to last.
Yeah, on the buying side, then yeah,
Buying. Yeah.
like I bought this thing for 30% below peak.
30 below peak.
30
Right.
below. You know, just slang, just 30. I got it for
But
30
it's
below.
30 below
30
peak.
below asking price. No, I paid asking, but it's 30 below peak.
Below P, bro.
Yeah, I paid 10% over asking. I paid
How
100
do you
grand over
say it in
asking,
Toronto,
but it was
man?
30.
How do you
It
say it
was
in
30
Toronto,
below.
man?
It was 30 below. 30 below
30
peak.
below P, man.
30, 30 below peak, fam.
Fam. That's the word I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, it's okay.
20 below peak, fam.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Did you see the lineups at OVO's warehouse there?
on
Talk.
the eastern
Sorry,
one?
I'm bouncing all over the place. There's too much going on right now. So, anyways, the point I'm trying to make, TK, is we've got power of sales. We've got people losing money, and we've got things going $10 billion over asking right now, and multiple offers all over the place again. So
Not all over the place. Don't say all over the place. There are multiple offers that are happening
not
because
all over the place.
properties are priced aggressively low. I had multiples on a property that was priced accurately. We got a couple different offers. We sold for asking price, firm offer. Like that's what happened, right? But I've also seen multiple offers. Well, all of them are well below asking, right? So it's like you're getting that, but it doesn't mean more price. The ones that I'm seeing that are going way over, it was like so obvious that it was priced low. And I know some of the scenarios, those offers were all coming in at or below asking, like a ridiculously low price.
But where were they at on the price to peak meter,
Price to
right?
peak, like
Were they 20% below peak?
they were priced like 40% below peak.
40%.
And then they ended up selling for like 20%.
But look, you're already thinking in terms of our
Yeah.
metric here, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to hear something crazy? So the other day I'm sitting here working away, which is really not doing anything because I'm up to nothing most days. And I'm sitting here and the doorbell rings. So I answer the door because my dog's going crazy. And it's these two realtors at the door. And I'm like, this could be interesting. Let's see where this goes, right?
Mhm.
And they say, hi, how are you? And they hand me this like notepad with their names and phone numbers on it.
So kind
And
of
I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
And they go, no, you're welcome. And then they turn around and they go, have a nice day. And they start walking away. And I was like, bro, I was going to talk to them for an hour, right? I gave them the opening and they were walking away. And I go, what do you think I could get for my house? Right. And they were like, oh, hold on a second.
You're cruel.
Right. So I'm like, why don't you guys come in? And these guys are telling me, you know, like prices are coming down and prices are going up and they're all over the place and interest rates are coming down and like good times are around the corner, right? And so I start asking questions, as you might expect. And it was just funny. They did a whole tour of the house and they sent me this bullshit CMA, and then they send me, the point of the story is they send me as part of their like barrage of emails, right? They send me this bidding war that just happened in Thornhill Woods. And they're like, it was 27 offers and there was 150 showings and it sold for 400 over asking. So what did I say? Send me the comps. Okay. They send me the comps, but the comps come with like a caveat as to like, you know,
this one was back.
Why is this one included, even though it's 300 miles away, right? Like we included this one in Barrie because anyways, but it didn't make much sense. And then they send me this email, like to show like the market's crazy again, right? People are having, so then I said, like what were the prices? What were the comps at the peak? And it was still well below peak, even with the crazy bidding war, because now it seems that the strategy is 40% grossly underpriced the thing.
40% below peak.
Below peak, yeah.
That's
is it 40%?
That's the asking price.
I don't know.
Roughly. I don't know. What are the numbers?
I don't know.
You said you looked into it. You said,
well, they send me
asking. What was the list price?
Hold on a sec. It was 1,350 and it sold for 1,750 or something around something like that. It was basically that.
Peak price was like
1.9 something or 2 point something, right?
Yeah. 40% below peak.
Yeah. So of course you're going to get a million people looking at that shit, right? Of
Yeah.
course you're going to get a million people who have no idea where to make their offer, just throwing spaghetti at the wall, right?
Yeah.
And the agents, I mean, God, how does an agent who never had to figure out pricing in 25, 30 years know how to fucking price anything right now? Right?
I
Because
think pricing's way easier right now.
Right,
It's so
easier.
much
People are
easier right now.
so irrational. How are people getting in
No,
bidding
it's
wars at all right
no,
now?
no, no. It's
What
very
what are they
difficult.
smoking? How
It's
could you
very
go in a
difficult
bidding
to
war right now,
talk to the
TK?
sellers about their price. That's a real challenge right now because the sellers don't want to hear it. But it's very easy to establish price in this market. Absolutely.
Sure, if you go like, hold on, the last one sold at 1.5. Let's price it at 350 and see what happens.
No, no, I mean accurately. Like what
Who's
you
doing
need to
that?
be you you need to be the next one to sell. That's what it is. So you look at
What does that
everything
mean? You
that's
have to be lower
available.
than the last one?
I'm not saying lower than the last one. You look at what else is available right now. So when those buyers come to the neighborhood and they're shopping and they've got money in hand, they're going to look at all the properties. And if there's a better deal out there, they're going to buy that one. There's a finite amount of buyers who are going to buy in your neighborhood in the next couple of weeks. And those buyers are going to want to see the most value in order for them to make that decision. And if there's a property out there, one of your neighbors who's asking like less money for the same house or, the same amount of money for a bigger house, whatever the
Yeah, you're
value that you
fucked.
can,
Sure.
they're not going to pick your house.
No.
Which means after a month, you'll be saying, why is my house not sold? And then you're going to be saying, well, because we started here and here's where we should have started. But now, because that one sold and prices are going down, there's another listing that's priced right here. And if we don't compete with that guy or, be better priced than him, you're going to end up for selling way less than you could have initially if you had just been the best priced property in the neighborhood. It's very simple to price right now, actually. And
So
doing the low price, the aggressive price doesn't work. It doesn't work. People, I haven't like dug deep into it or whatever, but I know of 2 scenarios where I saw 11 and 18 offers. And when I looked at the price afterwards, I said, that's actually not a great price. So they got a ton of activity. They got a ton of offers. They sold for 100, 150, whatever it is over asking. It wasn't a high price. It wasn't a crazy price. It was probably less money than if they had just priced it at the best price property in the neighborhood because there was no inventory. And buyers would have gone around and they would have looked and they would have said, I got no choice. This is the only option. And then they would have bought the property. Right. So
do we see people taking haircuts now that there's conditional offers out there everywhere? Do people go
the
back?
buyers are all asking for it.
And what's happening?
What's happening is
Are they getting them?
depending on the seller's situation. So I firmed up one this week in Pickering, and that we took a hit on the price when we negotiated. And when we were negotiating, I said, look, you're going to do a home inspection, and then you're going to come back to me and tell me, even though you're telling me the house is dated and everything needs to be changed.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to say this whole spiel after the home inspection's done. I said, why don't we agree to this price? Then that way there's room for your buyer to go through the home inspection and feel like they're going to have a little bit of a discount. And I talked to the seller and we were all like, yeah, that's a great idea. And he's like, no, we have to pay this price because of all these things. We're not going to come back. Fine. But don't come back to me after the home inspection. We know there's there's all these things have to be changed. The people are like, in their 80s. They haven't changed anything for years. They were comfortable. There's nothing wrong with the house, but your buyers are going to have to change stuff. What do you think he did after the home inspection, Darryl?
Big time haircut, bro.
They came back and said, what the heck is going on?
They got a season's pass at Miami Fades now, all these buyers.
Where am I? So anyways, I told the guy to go take a hike. And basically, I just told him that we'll sell to somebody else if he doesn't have it worked out. So the next day, he brought me the paperwork and we got the deal done.
Firm. So you played chicken. But you could play chicken and lose too.
I could have lost. And the sellers told me, just give him what he wants. We don't want to lose the deal. And I said, I'm not going to lose it over 5 or 10,000. It's like, don't worry, just hang in there. And actually, I called the guy. I can say this because it's over. I called the guy to tell him. I swear, I called him to tell him because the sellers were putting pressure on me. Don't lose this deal, TK. Don't lose.
Sure.
So I called him and I said, hey, how are you? Like, he just started talking. Oh, well, after we talked yesterday, I'm working on the paperwork. I'm sending it to them, and I think it's good. Tonight I'm going to do it. I'll let you know and everything. I said, yeah, good. I was just calling just to check in, just to see how things are going from yesterday. Yeah. That was my call. My call was to say, look, maybe, because there's like mold in the attic.
You
There's
were
a few things
you
that
were
were
gonna give him
surprises.
you were gonna
And
give
I
a
was just
couple
like,
bucks.
maybe if there's something here, we could do
Maybe the
2,500
two of
bucks or
us could
something.
shave a little off our
Right.
commission. We can make it work
Yeah.
one way or another. Something
Yeah.
can make this deal work. Sure.
But
It's
anyways, he
different
talked,
times, TK.
he talked first. So my clients are happy. And then I look like a hero, right? Because they were
You look
willing,
like a hero.
even though the price they took was much lower than they anticipated and all that kind of stuff. But it's
Oh,
those
not
final
much of
little
a
things.
hero there.
They're those final little things that I think agents are, this is important. So when you're an agent and you're dealing with a client, the worst thing that can happen in your deal from beginning to end, okay, is nothing. Because when the house is sold and they, see that invoice and they see the commission and they go through all these, thoughts in their head and they said, what did he do? He put up a sign. The buyers came, they brought an offer. We accepted it. They had their visits. We got our money on time. Oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to use that guy again. I mean, he was okay, whatever. Right?
Sure.
It's the truth. Now, sometimes what agents do is they're solving problems in the background. So
Sure.
they're out there and they're like putting out fires and all this stuff. And they're just like, I just want my clients to have a good
They're
life
not looking for
and not be
glory.
stressed.
Yeah, they're
right?
not sending them an email going, you
problem.
should have seen what I just dealt with today.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That
Right?
they do that
Because-
or that they don't do that.
Because they don't do that.
Don't do that is the problem because the clients don't realize what they're
The
doing.
clients don't realize how much work is being done. And so at the end of the day, the best thing that can happen to you is a small fire, something that is, enough to be able to make the sellers or your buyers, whoever you're representing, understand that, there is a lot of knowledge and experience required to be able to make things go this well. And that, don't worry, I got this under control.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it work. I'll get back to you. Let me find a solution. And
Yeah.
then you do all that background when you come back and you say, don't worry, it's under control. I got them to do this or agree to that.
Yeah. Don't point out the fact that there's no page 12 in the inspection report. Okay. Just don't tell anybody that there's no page 12 anymore.
Yeah. But right. So when they go, when they close, right. And then they're paying the commission over their buyer and they're paying out the down payment. They're going to go, man, you know what? Not only did I get a great price or not only did the transaction get done properly because here I am closing today, but there was a problem and TK, he knew what he was doing. He got us through that problem. And, next time I know someone who wants to buy and sell, I'm going to refer him. Yeah. Right.
It's not like there's all these fucking problems because this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'm never using him again. He's got too many problems in the background.
The bigger the problem, I don't cause problems, but the bigger the problem that I get to solve, the better the relationship I have with the client, because then they go afterwards and they go, geez, I never thought there were guys out there that could do those type of things because they're not used to seeing it. Right. And so those are important parts of the deal.
Do you think people will use realtors as much? Like, do you think people will bounce around as much as they used to? Like, do you think people will sell their houses in 2-3 years? Like, are we going to get that kind of appreciation where it's like, we have to fucking sell this thing? Like, we got to move. This is crazy.
Not for those reasons, right? Because a lot of people, the reason that they move is because they update their home and they, there's guys like that, right? So they renovate
now everybody's going to be shackled in debt.
Look how much my house is worth and I'm profiting. And so it makes me feel like I'm going to get more, that I'm going to go and buy that other house that needs work. I'm going to use all this labor and cash to be able to upgrade it. And it's going to increase my net worth. Those guys aren't going to like the feeling of selling and losing money. I know guys can still do it. There's still value. You could still, maybe break even. At the end of the day, it's all relative if you're buying low and selling low, but it doesn't give you a good feeling when you look at the number you paid and you just did 200 grand in renos and you're going to sell for the same price that you just bought it for 2 years ago. Doesn't make you want to move.
No.
Right.
No. But then it's like, it's that or face the renewal, depending on when your renewal is, right?
I was looking just at the article where, Butler Mortgages is being quoted. I got a bunch of articles today actually to talk about.
He blocked me, that bastard.
That's okay. He's a mortgage guy. So anyways, a mortgage guy. He's got the same last name as me, so he's good in my books.
No, he's supposed to be great.
And so he said that, rising number of defaults, a lot of, buyers right now are calling him because of the mortgage increase and that the interest rate hike at the end of the month is going to push people further into the trigger rate, which is all, fear mongering, whatever. But definitely there's going to be a lot more insolvencies because of what we've seen. And I think that that's something that we need to have. I just had a deal not close because there's too much debt on the property.
Too much debt.
Didn't close.
But
Can't
wouldn't the
close.
closing relieve the debt?
No, so they
What?
owe more money than we sold the house for. When we did the calculation, I knew the situation, so
What?
we calculated how much money was owed,
Yeah.
commissions, all that kind of stuff. This is what we need to make it work. We got our asking price, and
Oh,
three
but
offers, two like way under, and then one asking, like that's, and then they came up like two weeks before closing. He said, "Oh, like
I
this
can't make
bank
up the difference.
resurfaced, and this and so all these things came up, and it was just like there's too much of a shortfall."
Mhm.
And he was going to go, he had power of sale proceedings. I can't remember all the terminology they used, but they hadn't gone through with it yet, but they had actually started the paperwork.
Like real
And
power of sale, or just that said that on the real estate sign on the property?
no, it wasn't a real power sale. It was just the lender was
Marketing.
communicating directly
Yeah.
with me, the lender's lawyer, and they were saying like, we're commencing this process, and if you're not closed by this date, da 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 da. Long story short is they relieved him and they said, look, just start making these payments, and we won't put you under power of sale. And he's going to try to work on other parts of his situation to make it better. That's the market we're in.
But now the
Right?
buyer needs to find another house to move into. No,
Long story short is the buyer
they're
and the
cool with
seller
it.
came to an agreement, and there's no issues. Yeah.
What's the agreement? Does it involve money?
No. But the buyer will have the right to buy the property in the future if he's looking to buy it.
For how long?
I don't know, Darryl. Don't. It's not an agreement that I had anything to do with. My
Oh,
client was actually a real estate lawyer. My seller was a real estate lawyer, so he handled
okay.
it all. And I just, he said, thanks. We really feel bad because you don't get paid, and we want to make it up to you in the future, and something like that. I'm like, what can you do, right? Like, his situation is much more dire than me not making a commission. So you just tell him, good luck. I hope it works out for him. If he needs me in the future, I'm happy to help. What can you do? You move on.
It's unfortunate. So,
Yeah.
and
And I
so,
knew it going in too, so it wasn't like a surprise. I knew I was just trying to help him get out of that situation, so I did everything I could, and
yeah.
it's not enough.
Well, and so, okay. So so let's add to the confusion here. Okay. So we have people going power of sale. We have people going over asking. We have bidding wars. We have firm offers. We have conditional periods again. Like we have everything in the mix. We have like furniture stores doing nothing at the moment, right?
Auto dealerships
We have
selling nothing.
cars selling nothing right
Nothing.
now.
Yeah.
But like, have you been to a restaurant lately, or to a movie theater lately, or to
Movies,
any kind of entertainment lately? The
everyone's just
mall, it's like, what the fuck is going on? So
yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. Ovio, what's his name? Drake's brand, Ovo
Yep.
or Ovio. I don't know what it is. I'm not so cool, but there was like 1 billion people waiting at 4 a.m. for this guy's sale. Like,
Mhm.
even his shit on sale is more than like I would even spend on a goddamn shirt, right?
Mhm.
So what the hell's going on? Like, what? Where's all? I went to go see Harry Potter the other night, and it was packed, right? Like the restaurant before was packed, and we went for dinner at 5,
Yeah.
right? Because the show's at like 7, and
Yeah.
it's 3.5 hours, by the way, it was really cool. It was really amazing. But the
Yeah.
point is it was packed, bro. People are spending money like crazy still, and people are getting into bidding wars. The mentality out there is not brace for impact because the economy is about to sink. It's like, let's go, baby. Let's go.
That's what we've been talking about. What do
How is this possible?
What do interest rates affect? Who do they affect? If everyone has a job, what do interest rates do?
But people are starting to lose their jobs now in the States.
Okay.
A lot of people.
People on a variable rate are affected immediately. Their monthly payments go up.
Instantly.
People on a
Or if
fixed
they hit a
rate
trigger baloney thing.
are not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. And
Not
so
yet.
homeowners who are on a fixed rate, right, are sitting there and they're saying,
What do I
I
do?
can afford
What do I
this.
do?
I still have a job.
What do I do? I still
Maybe in the
have a
future,
job today.
Maybe in the future,
But what about the
those
guy
payments,
who's
but who the heck
58
is
years old? 58 years old. He's making 150 grand, and he knows there's a Malaysian kid that will do it for $15,000, right? He knows that guy's out there. Or an Australian guy who will do it for 90,000, or a Canadian guy. Like, all of a sudden, like people are going to be like, what if I lose my job? Then what? Prices are falling. I got a big mortgage. What if I lose my job?
How are you going to lose your job? Well,
What do you
there's got to
mean?
be, I'm just saying there has to be some sort of event that creates the job
TK,
losses,
they made
right?
it very clear. We want jobs to go to
Okay,
fucking
but they're
hell.
not going there
They're
yet.
not
You know, they're
going there. What's going on?
only the
What's going
tech
on?
companies seem to be facing these issues,
What's going on? So
right?
what
Oh,
has to
actually,
happen? And big
sorry.
ticket items. Anything that you need debt for is
Let's talk
fucked
about
up.
talk about tech companies
Tech companies. Yeah,
properly.
Microsoft is like laying off 12,000 and
Pro,
Google or something is laying off 12,000.
properly, the real estate startup company. Okay,
That's the one
they're
that what's his name? The TV guy sells for?
I think Mitch Marner is their guy. I don't know. They got some sort of celebrity doing it, but basically it's like guaranteed home sale. We'll buy your home in 90 days if it doesn't sell, right? And I've gone over it before. You end up
Bankrupt?
it's way
Are
less
they
money at the end of the
bankrupt?
day,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. So they laid off a bunch of people, which is only like 71 people or something like that. But now they just announced that they are no longer doing their guarantees. So the whole point of this whole company is that you can go to them and they will give you a guaranteed price,
Yeah.
so that you know for sure you can buy and you can move into your new home, and then you can be, your home will just be sold in the
Yeah.
background, and it's
Because
very
we have the
convenient
next
because you're
idiot waiting
already
in the
in the
background.
new property, and now they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore because
Yeah.
prices are going down, right?
That doesn't really make sense to be in business at all right now. So we're just slowly going to disappear
But if you need a
into the
mortgage or a real
background.
estate agent, we can just do that for you now. So don't
Yeah.
worry. We can just be a regular agent or mortgage broker for you.
Referral fees.
Yeah.
Because we have a
So
network now.
that's normal. That's normal. I mean, the model works in that every model in real estate works. There's no real estate model that doesn't have a customer base.
What
It
about
may not be the one
office?
that
What
everybody's
about
accepting.
downtown office, especially? I don't know, but
Mhm.
people that I think are super smart and can forecast things better than I can
Okay.
seem to
So most
think
people.
that things will change drastically in the office building space.
So it gets worse.
Worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that, but I don't follow it enough. That apparently there's a lot of vacancies and more vacancies are coming. And
Well, and like as the boomer generation bows out gracefully and the Gen Xers step in, I guess we're much more likely to do our work from a beach somewhere than a
Mhm.
boomer who, has stuck in his ways and wants to go into the office or burn the whole thing down. I think my generation, the Gen Xers, are much more like, yeah, listen, if you can do your job from wherever in whatever time, I don't care. I'll pay you this much money. Just get your fucking work done, right?
Mhm.
And do what you say you're going to do. Whereas I think like even younger generations who were maybe affected by the isolation of the pandemic, um, they may be more in a hurry to rush out and get back to like being in the workforce. But I think we're going to see a much different version of what like the office looks like, right? Because I think you'll have people working from all over the place as part of
Did
a functioning, thriving business in the future.
Did you hear about the lady who was ordered to pay back her former employee because of time theft?
Time theft, really?
Time theft.
Like
Yeah. So
over
just
COVID?
so she worked remotely. She was fired with. She said she was fired without cause, so she was suing. Obviously, the employer was a um, accounting firm. She said they said there's 50 hours that she reported on her time sheets, but it was not recorded, right? So she said there's a tracking software that they've got that basically was able to prove that they were not that she was not filling out those timesheets correctly, right? So because of the uh,
It knew how long she was
the
working on
tracking
the
software,
system. Yeah.
yeah, right. So it's and there's like submitting videos and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
They look at opening files and documents. Um, she said
Whatever. They
used
figured
her
out
work
she was
computer in
full
her
of
off
shit.
hours and said the program is failing to differentiate between time spent. But anyways, the judgment came in and it just said like, you know what? Sorry, but you're stealing time, therefore you owe money.
Really?
And there's now precedence, right? So there's
Oh,
going to be situations like
man.
that, right? There's gonna
So
be situations.
many. I have a friend who he showed me, like I went to his house and I'm like, why is the laptop open? He goes, I'm working. I'm
Mhm.
like, we're working, dude. We're in the pool. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I know, but if I just leave it open, then it
yeah.
looks like I'm working to the system, right?
Does it though? Because what do they really know, right? Like, what is it that is made aware to the employee, right? Like, what are the rights that the employer has? Do they say, look, just we need you to put this software on. It's gonna, help you just sort of communicate with us,
Yeah.
improve your video quality, and yeah, just make sure you have it on your desktop, okay?
Yeah. And you should
But
really make
really, it's
sure
like
you tell your
watching all
wife you
your
love her more because, just a little birdie told me.
right. So these are all the things that what's private and what's not, right? If it's a work computer,
Hmm.
does the employer have that? I mean, I'm not here to tell you that I know anything about this, but in my
There
in
was
my
a lot of
opinion,
time theft, though,
in
in
my
the last
opinion,
couple of years.
if you want to work from home, your employer has the right to do whatever the hell they think is necessary, including installing a video camera inside your house or on your computer to watch you do the work. Like, I mean, that's
I
total invasion
guess.
of
I don't
privacy.
know.
But your other option is to go to the office.
I think if you run the company properly and you give people a direct mandate and they know what they're supposed to get done, if they can get it done in the time allotted, then I don't care if it takes them 5 minutes or 5 hours. Like, if this is your job and these are your responsibilities, get it done in the time allotted and we don't have a problem. I don't care where you are or what you're doing, right? The
Mhm.
whole day, right? I don't care if you have 3 other jobs if you get done what we
Well,
agreed to.
then,
But now if I
if
start
it's
to
an hourly
feel
wage, if it's an hourly wage
can't
job,
be an hourly wage job in
that's a
that
different story.
circumstance. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you're getting paid by the hour, I
So if
mean,
you got a
I
salary
think
job,
that ends though soon, hourly jobs. Like, unless you have to be there physically, like, I
yeah,
think a remote
it
job
should
by
be.
the hour is
You
the
just get paid a
dumbest
certain
idea
amount
ever.
and say,
Yeah.
look,
It's
take
like
care of things.
piecemeal.
You're good at problem solving here. This is how much we're going to pay you. Make sure we don't have any problems. 1 month you might work a lot. The next month you might not have to work at all. But just make sure at the end of the year that all these problems that come up
Yeah,
are yours to
listen,
solve.
if you
That's it.
have to come into the office, I don't care if you're in fucking Hawaii, get your ass into the office, right?
Yeah.
But do
You
whatever
better
you
have a
want.
plan.
I don't care.
You
Yeah,
better have a plan.
I don't
Get in
care.
there. Let's go.
Yeah.
Um,
This is where I think it's going, at least for some companies, because some companies are going to go, fuck, do we really need to pay $35,000 a month for this downtown space when like half the people don't even need to be here? Really? Right? It's like,
mhm.
why don't we just find this place for $5,000 a month so that we say we have a place in downtown Toronto and let people come and go as they wish and find people that can work in India or like whatever the hell. It's really not that hard to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Is that there's a ton of businesses that will no longer need to have office space. But hopefully, what happens is as the economy grows and we're increasing the population, there'll be more businesses and more jobs that are created by that. And so a percentage of jobs at home will be much higher, but the total amount of available jobs will be also much greater. Therefore, that companies will still need office space, but they'll be using less of it per company.
Less
That's what
of
I
it.
think would
Yeah,
happen. I mean,
less
as
of it.
population grows, that's it's inevitable. Again, we got an aging population, so that's a whole nother factor that I think there's a lot of guesses out there, but I don't think anyone truly understands how the baby boomers retiring is going to impact us. And I think that that's something that we're not
That's going to
prepared
be
for.
significant.
We're not
Yeah.
prepared for it,
I'm
and
ready. I'm ready. I'm
right,
licking my chops, man. Things are going to be available. Listen,
right,
the next generation, my generation, the Gen Xers are waiting for a lot of real estate to transact or to change hands, right?
yeah,
From their parents or their in-laws or wherever it's coming from, their
hmm
grandparents, whoever's still around.
they're going to
But
get
there's a next generation who knows that it's coming. It's already like they all know, right, that it's being passed down and they're just waiting for it. And a lot of them are like, I don't want to fucking be partners with Jan and Ryan, those fuckers,
yeah.
right? Like the
They're not
minute
even
they're
eating Christmas
gone,
dinner anymore. As soon as the parents gone, they're
yeah,
selling.
fuck
Yeah,
them. They fucked us up. Anyways, there's so many things like that where it's just going to be, let's just get rid of it. And we don't have to
majority of them are like that.
worry, right? Because,
Majority of them are like that.
right. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know about majority, but like
no, I'm telling you, siblings selling properties
even worse,
when
it's
the parents are gone
cousins. It's,
during the time the parents are alive. Oh, no, 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 no. Once the parents are gone, it
yeah.
just changes. It's
Oh,
just so like the parents have to, while they're alive, assign one person to make all the decisions
yeah.
so that there is no debate. If
Oh
they
my
assign
God. Yeah.
multiple people, I deal with these.
Me too.
Very
Yeah.
rarely is it ever a success. Like very
TK.
rarely is there
Right
two people who
now.
agree on everything.
Right now.
Yeah.
Number 6 of 6. Not the one that signed, like the one 6
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
line in the assembly.
Yeah.
Big the head honcho just died. He's been in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's been like slow to get signatures and stuff, but he just died.
Yeah.
That doesn't make things smoother.
It doesn't make things smooth.
No,
No.
especially if, like you're saying, they didn't have some kind of a plan in effect. Like, who
Well,
will
it'll be
deal with
now you got
stuff?
probate and estate and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a process. It's you know, it is what it is. I mean, you've got to go
But
through it.
can you
There's
still
no
negotiate? Like, who are you negotiating with now? Who's
in
running the
the
estate?
once the person passes and they haven't done probate of the will in order to appoint the trustee for the estate, nothing. Can't do nothing.
Hmm.
Any signatures or anything like that, you know, they may not have the authority to bind the estate. So you're
That should
in
make things
limbo.
interesting. I
Yeah.
guess that's okay,
Did,
actually. If you're
did you
waiting
hear?
out a storm, that's pretty
Yeah.
good
Did you hear?
for me. That's so
Tellus.
insensitive, TK. I can't believe you're talking like that.
What?
Jesus. No, that was rude. I feel bad for them. And I feel bad that
Yeah.
I had to interrupt them. I heard that the guy had died, but I called and I pretended like I didn't know because I didn't want to be rude. But then once I knew, they were like, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're already talking about stuff and trying to figure things out. And don't worry, we're on board. We're on board
Yeah.
because I'm looking for an extension, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. But I'm dealing with that whole death thing right now. I thought it was interesting that you mentioned it.
Yeah. Things are moving faster in the probate courts, so that's good. I've heard of a couple good Toronto properties that have gone through probate in only a couple months. They were
Maybe they have things in
really long
order.
during COVID.
Maybe I
Really
got
long.
lucky. Maybe they have things in order. Right there.
I don't know. When did he buy the property?
Oh, they've owned it for a long time.
So he might be under first dealings, and then there is no probate required. So that'll be good, right?
You'll have to give me
But you need an
some
extension.
knowledge.
But you need an extension. So
Well, really, I just need an extension to finalize number 6 of 6, like their negotiation. But
yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I mean, I regardless, I'm gonna need paperwork done with those guys.
With those guys, yeah. Okay, that'll be a challenge.
That'll be a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, hey, say la vie, I suppose.
Telus is in the development business.
Telus?
Telus.
Isn't Telus really like Rogers or Bell?
Telus, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Telus and Adara, developer out in North Vancouver, finished 88 units, you know, equipped with all the automation and technology, keyless entries, you know, notifications, doors open, doors close, adjust unit climates. It's like they've got an app. Then the owner of the rental, it's a purpose-built rental. Owner of the building has the ability to look at stuff to be able to see what temperatures like, security automation, you know, entertainment, other systems and stuff like that. And basically Telus is getting in the game here.
Why?
What do you think?
Why Telus? Like, what does Telus have to do with all that stuff?
Well, they've got a division who's obviously working on that. They feel like smart home is part of their
yeah. I felt like Tesla
their
should like
industry.
start building houses. Like some of these companies, like it would just make sense. Like Tesla has solar roofs
Tesla would
and they
make
have
sense for
batteries and
like the prefab, like boxable type of stuff.
boxable shit.
That would be
Yeah.
Tesla would fall under that for sure.
Yeah.
Telus is more just on the tech side, so they're partnering with
Imagine the tech that Tesla would
developer.
make.
But think about it, right? Think about a developer, you know, having this smart ability on purpose-built rentals. I think that's
I don't think it's nothing
next
new. I
generation.
think there's stuff like that. There's apps and there's all kinds of sensors people have been adding to their
They've
buildings
been
for
adding them,
years.
retrofitting them into their
Yeah,
buildings.
now I'm sure it's
But
more
now the whole
efficient.
building being built from scratch like this is going to
Yeah.
be a major player.
I've seen a lot of the software, like a lot of it's like, hey, like link to Uber Eats. There's your concierge, you know. But there's some cool stuff. Like it links you up, or like you make a ticket, like if you have a service issue, like
Right.
you know, like there's a leak. So you like make a ticket and hope that somebody answers in a reasonable amount of time before the leak is like a flood.
Well, I mean, when you're dealing with these guys on this scale, I mean, one, they've got a property manager in place, right? The developers are nowhere near. The owners are all investors, you know, they don't have any involvement whatsoever.
Yeah.
You want to have things, you know, as efficient as possible. And I think
Sure.
technology is the efficiency that the multifamily projects are going to benefit from, which benefits tenants. And speaking about tenants, the affordable housing lottery is now opened for Toronto's Mirvish Village. So through
The
Open Door
lottery
Toronto.
for affordable housing
Yeah. So
in Mirvish Village.
the affordable units, right, at Honest Ed site.
How much is an affordable unit there?
So here, there's a different range here. So this one here is through like the Open Door program. So this is like the really discounted ones for like the most,
The
like,
lowest of the low?
yeah, like there's community, like nonprofit community organizations that are involved. So a studio apartment, $1,000 a month. The
That's
max
affordable. That's considered
a
affordable.
studio, which would be $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
The max annual household income is 48,000. Okay.
Household income for a studio, meaning like
Studio.
one person. No,
It could be a couple. Could be
a couple of people making only 48 grand living in a studio together. All right.
Welcome.
Yeah. You know what? No, but seriously, we did the calculation. You don't make that much if you work 40 hours a week at minimum wage.
Exactly.
Like,
so
it's
one
like,
bedroom, 1185.
that's actually reasonable.
Plus utilities, right? So again, one bedrooms in Toronto, like over $2,000, so maybe double, right? Almost $56,000 max annual household income.
Do you have to like live in this country for a few years to get this, or can you come fresh off of something?
You apply, and then if you make the cut, then you go through like a more in-depth process, and it's a lottery. So I'm sure there's some, you got to know the right people in some cases, and I'm sure that there's some people where
can I move here from Sweden and like get one of these rooms somehow?
You can contact the Open Door people and you can find out if you want to move into one of these places. 2-bedroom, 1,400, 13.
Shouldn't this be for people that like are in their 30s or 40s and grew up in the city and can't afford a place to live?
I think that there'll be a place that you can send an email to voice your concerns.
All right.
Max income, 67,000.
Fair
3-bedroom, $1,600.
3-bedroom
income,
at Bathurst and Bloor, bro.
1,600.
What do I have to make for that? I could
77,000 max.
I don't even make close to that.
So these are the people who obviously are like the most needs.
How do I get in on this?
There's a few different community organizations involved. Wood Green Community Housing, Community Living Toronto, Kahila Residential Program, and Wig Woman. These are all obviously
Wig Woman?
Black. Yeah, like that would probably be like Indigenous people. Blackhurst Cultural Center, right? So all these type of like people.
What does this mean? What does this mean? They're all doing what? What are these people? Why are you saying their names?
Oh, because they are part of those 37 units that have now become available. That's it. There's only releasing 37 units at those prices.
But what are these?
Those are community organizations who are helping people and
helping people find the unit.
Yeah, find affordable housing. So those community organizations have 37 units that are part of this particular Toronto Open Door.
So that's where you have to donate to if you want to get one of these units, because the waiting list must be crazy.
37 are in the lottery, 85 are in total.
110, 117 units.
15 units in the development are expected to be leased at 80% of average market rent, with an additional 266 rental units leased at no higher than 30% of the median household income.
So what the hell is this? Another tier on top of what you just talked about?
So those are all rental replacements probably, right? When you're doing rental replacement, like how do they break it down? Like when you do a development, what are you putting in the
you have to replace the same amount of square footage for sure.
At the same price that they were paying before, or no?
I think it's square footage, but it might be units, because like all the older units are so much bigger. I think there's something there. But anyways, like you have to replace something similar to what's there, plus the parking, and you have to either rent it or sell it for below market. So if you're renting it, it's like
but below market is what? Is it the 30%?
I don't know. I never really understood. Like, where do you
how do you calculate
that
doing a development when you have like all these rental replacements?
Well, it's a percentage below some fucking stupid metric they came up with. There's a chart for it. Like
there's a chart.
There's a chart, but so far for me, it hasn't really been such a factor that I've had to like really figure it out to the fine details. But I mean, for some projects, it's a gigantic factor, and and it's grown over the years, especially. But I'm not sure if it's, I do remember it being units, but then I also remember something
I remember
why
reading
should
that.
I replace a 1,200 square foot one bedroom with another 1,200 square foot one bedroom? Like that's stupid now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I think it turned into square footage replacement for rental replacement. But anyways, I don't think it fucking matters. Either way, it fucks up the pro forma incredibly. And
yeah.
it's, I mean, I guess it's
The least amount of rental
necessary,
replacement
but
units
it's
in a
based on an
project.
average something, and you have to be a percentage below that. And I don't know
Yeah.
what time frame it freezes at, but like it's just so the people that are paying to be in that building $1.8 million for a 2-bedroom, right? Because I'm sure that's got to be in there. That's probably not even that much for Bathurst and Bloor in Mirvish Village.
One of the 3-bedroom units. The 3-bedroom units. Let's figure out here. We'll do price per square foot. So 3-bedroom units are 1,048 square feet. So you're probably looking at 1.6 or something like that. The most expensive one there.
But anyways,
I think, I don't know. I'm not the pre-con guy.
I
don't
don't
think they'd be selling
think,
for more than that.
and I don't want to come across as a snobby dick, which I'm sure I come across as a snobby dick plenty. But like, do they want to have these people in the same building? Because
what do you mean these people?
well, from
people who
both
have incomes of
ends, lower
$77,000 to support
incomes.
three
Yeah, but you're mixing like
bedroom families?
extraordinarily different income levels. Okay, it's not just like okay, 1,000. Somebody that can afford $1,000 on a program, okay, is in a very very different life situation than somebody that has to make $300,000 a year, right? To pay for their
stay afloat.
2-bedroom. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I can do
sorry
this
to
for
say
25
that.
years. I swear. I
Listen,
swear I can do this for 25 years.
as insensitive as
without
I've
going
been this
crazy.
episode, TK, there's realities, okay? And not everybody loves to commingle, okay, with everybody.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of things. So it'll be interesting to see how this all kind of starts to play out in the coming years, right? Because when you force that upon people, like you see, even all the NIMBYism, I mean, this is NIMBYism to the extreme, right? To the extreme. And the reality is like people
So
in
you're
different.
a NIMBY.
It's not I'm a NIMBY. I don't.
What do you mean? You're not a NIMBY. You're talking about condos, not my backyard.
I don't live in a fucking condo. But listen, I've gone on record.
Floor. How dare they come in here? Do they know how much my Porsche is?
I'm okay if they go over there. But listen, I don't want a rooming house beside me. I don't. I really, truly don't.
What
I
if they touch
houses.
my Louis Vuitton handbag in the elevator?
It's not even
what
that.
if they smell bad?
I don't want it.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah, I don't want it. And I get it.
Changed to NOMF.
I'm perfectly willing to supply
not on my floor.
Not on my fucking floor. Not in my elevator. You don't.
Not in my elevator.
Right? Anyways, listen, I worked on one project that had a considerable amount of replacement units, and we designed the building.
Pass it on to the next guy.
No, we were lucky. I found a building
put
that
them all
had
in one spot.
2 corners. Yes, they had their own entrance. It was separate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you know what we did a few floors of rental.
Yeah,
because the old owner was going to buy back all the rental units in the building, and then above it was condo.
Yeah.
So you didn't want the renters commingling with the owners.
Okay,
and this was
fine. That's fine if it's not just the affordable renters.
Different, bro.
If it's all the renters,
doesn't matter.
Because it's hard to sell units.
It's different. I know, but it's just different. Exactly.
So
it's hard to sell units. It proves my point.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going to happen? And then when stories come out, because stories will come out.
And the building I'm talking about is a purpose-built rental, I believe, right? Or no? Maybe it's not.
It probably is.
Mirvish Village. There's
Mirvish has a bunch of purpose-built. Maybe there's no condo there. Maybe it's all purpose-built.
Maybe this is a purpose-built. I don't know.
But that actually makes a difference, believe it or not. And not that people are any different. And I'm not being a dick. I mean, I'm being a dick.
If you're a condo
but I'm being realistic,
I think. It's very realistic. And part of the building has rentals, not just affordable rentals, but rentals that would depreciate the value of those condos compared to the exact same building next door that was all owned.
I think.
100%.
I think.
100%. If you got a mix of renters,
And
like if
it's
you go to
no different
City
if I
Place,
lived beside a rooming house. My
City Place
house would be
Concord,
worth
City Place
less.
Concord has a high rental percentage. So there's a lot of people who are in there
But they're
that are
owned
tenants, or
units.
the owned units that have been rented out to tenants, which the status certificate discloses, and those prices are suppressed because of it.
Everybody's suppressed
What
about
a debate today,
something.
Daryl. What a debate.
I
My
like it. I
gosh.
like it when it's just
My
the two of
gosh.
us. I
Sometimes
find
we
it
just
flows, baby. It
we just
flows. It's a good
got all the
conversation.
questions, with more questions than answers.
What did we talk? Is there anything? So, what do you
The
think
last one
about
I wanted to
interest
talk
rates? Hold
about,
on. We got to talk about interest rates.
Who
Those are
knows?
going up, no? Up, down,
Interest
sideways?
rates.
Not happening?
Okay. So we had the
No
inflation
bullshit answer,
slowdown.
though. No
We had the inflation
bullshit.
slow down to 6.3 because of gas
Slow
prices.
down.
I just went to the gas station last night and prices were higher than the week before.
That's what I said. I was like, hold
But
on
what's
a
the guarantee
second.
that if they're telling me inflation
This is
is down because of
expensive
gas
again.
prices, I feel like gas prices have a lot of room to go up again. And then if we go back up to $2, which
I don't understand why they're low
Dan
at the
McTeague-
moment. Why
Dan
are they
McTeague
low?
on the radio, the gas guy, he says
Who?
gas prices are going to go back up.
The fuck is a radio, TK? How old are you?
I
What
listen to
is
the radio
this?
when I drive.
The radio?
Talk radio. Absolutely.
Oh, you're,
What am I supposed to do? Read my phone while I'm
I
driving?
thought you were
I
like
gotta
10
get
years younger
informed.
than me. No, you're supposed
Gotta
to
get
like
informed.
listen
I
to
have
a
podcasts
podcast.
too. I have
Yeah.
podcasts too, Daryl.
What the
Relax.
hell's the
Sometimes
radio?
it's just easy
all
to
about?
press radio and listen. I don't listen to the music. You're like this. You're on the you're listening to the music. You're singing along. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Whatever
I'm never in the
station
car.
is.
I'm never
Zoomer
anywhere.
radio.
I just sit here.
You just sit there.
I sit here, I walk the dog. I don't do anything. I edit a video once a week, and I make a couple of phone calls.
You manage things.
Nothing. It's all retirement stuff. TK, I'm so bored. I can't even look at Twitter anymore. I can't watch YouTube videos about real estate anymore. There's nothing original being said. Everybody's regurgitating shit. Everybody's changed their opinion completely. Everybody's full of shit, including and especially you and me. There's no doubt about that.
Holy
and it's
smokes.
like, I can't listen to it anymore. I can't. Nobody's opinion makes any sense or matters to me. I just want to kill
I had someone
everybody.
call me yesterday. It was actually a partner of mine who called me to say their lawyer said that interest rates are going to go back down. It's not a good time to sell, and that they should wait. Interest rates are going to like go right back down. So,
okay,
what kind of lawyer do they have?
How does he know?
Like, so all the economists in the world right now are all debating on whether prices are going up or down and interest rates are here and inflation is there. And for the last few years, it's been clear that nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. But they have a lawyer who has got a crystal ball, who understands everything perfectly. I would have told them that he sounds like a great lawyer, and that if being psychic is also part of his
why is he practicing law?
Then I would also like to have him as a lawyer.
No, forget it. He should be sitting on a beach somewhere, chilling, prognosticating everything.
Right.
But
so,
no,
anyways, that's
fucking around.
That's what's out there. You and I know it. You and I have been debating about it long enough to realize how little we know. And people just need information. People just want to you have to make a decision based off the information that you have. And right now, inflation is heading down. Does that mean that we're going to get back on track to the 2 to 3% target that the Bank of Canada has set? Absolutely not. It could mean that we are stuck in a high inflation environment for the next decade. It could mean that, it's going to take, 14 to 24 months before inflation gets back down. No, nobody knows. Bank of Canada doesn't know. Economists don't know. Everybody's got an idea. Everyone's got an opinion. At the end of the day, you got to make the best decision you can with the information you have today. And right now, rates are up, and there's no signs of them coming down. What's your rate hike prediction for the end of the month, Daryl? Let's hear it now. Let's get it, because by the next time we air, I think it'll just have happened.
No, it won't
What's
have
your
happened.
prediction?
It will not have happened.
It'll be the Monday?
No.
Okay.
It'll be next week.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I keep getting it wrong, because it's like nothing. I can't put things together, because I think that the mall should be empty and that the restaurant should be empty and everything should be like not happening and people should be smartening up, right? But it's not happening, which means I mean, that on top of we had 100,000 extra jobs than predicted, on top of now the like the 5-year bond yields are coming down. So 5-year interest rates on mortgages are kind of ticking down. There's so much confusing stuff going on right now that it's like I don't understand why gas prices are low when all the gas supplies are constrained and the war is still going on. And it's like, how are prices lower?
Daryl, just give us a number.
I don't know.
What's the rate?
It's going to be a quarter point, 25 bips, just because they feel like they still have to do something.
Yeah.
It probably should be more. I don't want it to be more.
I like to be wrong on this.
I hope I'm right.
So I'm gonna say no change to the overnight rate. No change
fuck,
to the overnight
TK,
rate.
you're fucking around again. Stop doing that.
Why?
That's not a real answer. There's no way they can do zero.
The number is 0.
How can they do that?
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean? I'm allowed to guess? You got to guess. Give me a chance.
Fine.
Your guess is just as good as my guess. You're just going with the crowd.
No, mine's based on something. You just throwing it out there. It's easy.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Good.
All right. Well, as long as we know that, then I guess it's fine.
Yeah. So we're all good here.
Mine, I know nothing either. So mine's absolutely useless. But at least I make a little bit of a story.
If you're still listening to this show and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed,
what are you doing?
Ask yourself, do you really care about Canadian real estate or not? Look yourself in the mirror and say, do I really care about my situation with Canadian real estate? Do I really want to be informed every single Sunday at 4:00 so that I'm in the know? Or am I just a pretender? And then look down and there should be a little button. And I think it should say subscribed, or there should be a button that says subscribe. And if it says subscribe, I think you should hit that button. And if it says subscribed and there's a little thumb that's pointing up, you should hit that button. But if you really are committed to educate yourself on Canadian real estate, then you should leave a comment. That's what you should do.
The comment section got crazy rowdy last week. What the hell was going on there? It's crazy out there. It's crazy. But you know what? Actually, TK, surprisingly, and with all sincerity, there are a lot of people that actually listen to the end of this thing. So thank you.
Thank you for listening.
We really appreciate that, because I mean, it's a lot of talking.
If you want to come on the show, we can do like a no video if you're worried about privacy.
There's certain people I've offered that
Trent,
to.
If you want to come on the show,
I've offered him 100 times.
We just talk without you showing your face. No problem. If
a sound
else out
thing
there is a regular commenter and they're like, listen, I got the answers here.
I was gonna just put an open link on Twitter today and say, hey, if you want to join us for the show, like, here's a link, jump in.
Wow.
That would have been cool, or we would have been trolled and I would have been editing like crazy.
One time. We don't have to air it. One time we got to do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
let's do it.
People who hate you on Twitter are gonna love it.
Oh, they'll love it.
I think it's great. They hate us, not just you. They hate us.
Well,
they hate what we stand for.
There's definitely people on Twitter that hate me, but if you read the comment section on YouTube, bro, you're not everybody's biggest fan. I only care about the YouTube. You're not at the top of some people's lists, unless that list is guys they want to kill.
I don't read I just read the first comment and then I don't have time to go through.
You don't read the parts that say TK, you're a fucking idiot, you're a pumping dick bag.
I've never read those ones.
Those aren't there. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Well, they're there from time to time.
I don't have time to do all the comments, but I do respond and like to everybody who does make an initial comment. I promise I will go through them each week to make sure I do that.
It's been fun once again. We went like way overboard. Our format's getting longer and longer here, TK.
We're going to go longer.
We're going to go longer.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Yes. TK, always a pleasure. Good catching up with you.
Likewise.
Another week of real estate. Good luck with your tournament, sir. Go beat the hell out of somebody.
I will beat them.
Or sorry, grapple them till they choke to death. Submit. There you go. So go submit some people for all of us, TK.
I will.